Hello, Angie Gerber here, and welcome to my podcast, Awareness. Once you know, you can't unknow. A place you can come to start thinking and shifting your thoughts to finally create the results you truly, truly desire. It'll shift your mindset and give you strategies to get out there and get it done. Let's get started. All right, so today I want to go over a new book that just came out actually within the last couple days. I pre-ordered this, I think, back in October or November, so months ago. And I have to come on and share, just like I do when any coach that I've worked with or that I know really well publishes a book. And this is Arash's first book, as far as I know. And so Arash Vossoughi is a coach that I hired not too long ago. I think it was last year. And one of the main reasons why I hired Arash was because he is the closest I will continue to get, I believe, to Bob Proctor, my first coach that I had hired, who passed away a couple years ago. Well, Arash had worked with Bob for over 15 years. Bob would often say that he was his best student because Arash was a product of what Bob taught and really embraced it. And whatever Bob said to do, Arash did. He didn't question it. He didn't resist it. He just gave in. And Arash will talk about his story quite often, but he says, he was just sick and tired of being sick and tired, which is what I coach a lot of women to. He will say he was $150,000 in debt. He was health-wise overweight. He had a foreclosure sticker on his garage. He was 3 weeks away from getting married and just lost his job. And that's when he found Bob. Though my story is not exactly like his, I was at quite a rock bottom myself as well when I hired Bob to be my coach and not sure how it would work or how it would happen. And I just knew, like, you can feel the truth, when you feel it and you hear it. That's what Bob was for me and for Arash. And then just love how Arash delivers Bob's material in his own way. And obviously over the last 15 to 18 years, Arash has had many life experiences and many coaches and been surrounded by amazing, amazing people and mentors. And he's helped hundreds of thousands of people as well overcome their limiting beliefs and just the way he delivers the information, especially that I learned from Bob, that I know he also learned from Bob. It just, I love it. I love how he delivers it as well. So I want to encourage you to get this book. I will put the link below in comments so you can just click on the link and order it right from Amazon. Best $20 you'll ever spend in your life, because we need to get 1% better every day. And we need to, level up and really get around the people that are making it happen. Arash started his own company, I don't even think a year ago, maybe a little bit more than a year ago. And if he's not 9 figures, he's really probably pretty close. So he just is an amazing embodiment of everything that I coach to and everything that he coaches to, and so much that we learned from Bob that I just had to share his book. So what I'm going to do today is, again, encourage you to go and get this. And I want to go over, he calls them vossisms. So his last name is Vossoughi. And this is just some of the things that Arash will say over and over again. He shares in the book in 15. So I'll show you here. And it's just things to live by. And these are the things that you can put on Post-it notes, put around your house. You could type out and save as a screensaver on your phone. Just get to have these in front of you. And I'll go through them today and kind of talk a little bit about them and just give my 2 cents on how this impacts me. But as I'm saying these, really pay attention to what comes to your mind at first, how you interpret it, maybe what your perception is. And then as I talk about what my perception is, see is there a correlation, Or is there a really big shift in awareness that you kind of need to do in order to see this from a different light or through a different lens? And that's really what all this information is about, is awareness and perspective and your higher faculties versus your five senses and all of that. But what he says is, he starts with, change is difficult in the beginning. It gets comfortable in the middle and is beautiful at the end. So I know what he talks about is it's really, really hard to change. It's going to be a fight and a battle most often with our paradigms and habitual behavior. And you kind of get comfortable in the middle, and it's beautiful at the end. And another thing that Arash talks about along the lines of this in his coaching would be, it's hard and difficult to start, and it gets comfortable and also messy. There's a little bit of a mess in the middle because you're not quite sure how this is going to go, where it's going to go. But if you push through and go by faith versus fear, there's beauty at the end or on the other side of any new challenge you take on. So keep that in mind as you're wondering if you should start. If it's weighing on your heart and if it's something that you want, the answer is yes, you should start and choose faith over fear for sure. The next one would be, discipline takes you where motivation doesn't. So discipline takes you where motivation doesn't. And my take on this is, you can get motivated. You can go on YouTube. You can watch something that motivates you. You could be motivated by this podcast, by other podcasts, by a book you're reading, by a friend, Tony, so many different coaches out there. Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, Lisa Nichols. The list goes on and on and on. But motivation will only last so long. And it's just like I talk about how I used to fly around the country and go to different real estate conventions and trainings and seminars and just get really, really excited because speakers are in place to motivate you. And they're good at what they do. They have energy. They have charisma. They're just out there getting you really fired up and ready to take everything on. Take the world on. You almost feel like you can do anything. I've got this. And then a week or two later, if you notice, it's all gone. The motivation's gone because you didn't create the disciplines. It takes creating the disciplines around being motivated that will keep you moving forward, because motivation will only get you started. It's the disciplines that will actually see you through creating the disciplines and creating new habits and sticking to it. So that's a really good one that Raj talks about often. He says this often: make a committed decision and stop screwing around with yourself. He's just stop screwing around. Make a committed decision and stop screwing around. Like, we have this one life as far as we know. So why are you screwing around with it? Like, go make an irrevocable committed decision and move forward. Get going, create disciplines, create new habits. Don't let those reasons and paradigms and habitual behaviors tell you all the reasons why you shouldn't, or hit that snooze, or eat that donut or cake, or, don't work out, or don't get 1% better every day. Don't do what you need to do for your business. Or, instead of going out on date night, you just decide, we're so tired, let's just stay in. Really push yourself, because anything worth having is going to be worth working for. So think about that next time that reason why you shouldn't do something sneaks in. Stop screwing around and just do it. To get to the top 1% is not hard. All it takes is effort. And this I hear a lot of different ways from a lot of different coaches, especially people like Arash that are in the top 1 to 3%. It's not hard. It just takes effort. You see so many people start, stop. Or when it gets hard, they get scared and they go back to comfort. Even though it's not what they want, they'll let the fear take over and go back to where they're safe. It's not what they want, but it's what they're used to. It's comfortable. And they would rather stay there than just grind through and take the effort and take the consistency and take the failures or the feedback and continue to move forward. That's really over and over and over again what I hear from the people that are at the top 1 to 3%. You just got to keep going, because most people don't. Most people stop. Most people get scared. Most people go for broke, and when they hit broke, they go back and they don't figure out the next way or go again or open their mind or remove the blocks and the barriers and figure it out. They just retreat. So it takes effort, persistence, consistency, and just doing it. And if you show up every day and do your 1% better every day, make a decision, make a commitment, create disciplines, continue to motivate yourself, get the habits in place, you'll win, because not many people will do it because they just won't. So it's easy to get there. It just takes effort. I love that. And I think that's a great reminder. How you start your day is how you own your day. You know, we talk a lot about morning and evening routines. Arash does, and I do, and most people do. But really, he's very focused on the morning routine. Are you getting up early? Are you leaving space to get through what you need to do in the morning to set your day up for success? Because if you are still hitting snooze or setting your alarm for the very last moment that you have to get up and now you're rushing out the door, you're rushing your family out the door, your kids, and it's just chaos, chaos, chaos. Stop. Stop screwing around and figure it out. Get up 15 minutes early. Get up a half hour earlier. You know, I know Arash gets up at 5 in the morning. I get up at between 5 and 6 in the morning. When do you work out? When do you take time to do whatever it is, what your morning routine looks like? It's important, because how you start your day is more than likely, unless you can change on the turn of a dime, it will be how your day goes. So pay attention to that. It's really, really important. You are the only problem you will ever have, and you are the only solution. That's so true. You are your only problem, and you are your only solution. And for me, this started with, first and foremost, taking 100% responsibility for where I was at in life and every day. The decisions I make, what triggers me, how I respond versus react, or how I react versus respond. You know, it's truly, you have to take responsibility and know that your current results are a direct reflection of what's going on in the inside of you and your past thinking. You can change everything moving forward, starting today, with just making a different choice. So I love that one as well. See yourself living in abundance, and you will attract it. It works every time with every person. Because if you see yourself with your goal already achieved, and if you visualize and if you connect to that place and that feeling and that version of you over and over and over again through repetition, and you feel it. Now, this is the important part, the emotional part. You have to feel it, what it will feel like, as if it's here and done. It will be accepted by your subconscious, and that's where the universe moves in. And the people, the places, the circumstances, the money, they will present themselves. But where so many people get messed up is they can't see the results right now, or they're too impatient and won't wait for it to be shown. You know, you look at your current results and that's how you feel. And then that's what you get the more of. So you are your only problem and your only solution. And it's listening to podcasts like this. It's reading books like Arash's. It's watching the right things on YouTube or Netflix, or listening to podcasts, and it's filling yourself with the information so that you can understand yourself better. Because the better you understand yourself, the more successful you'll be in all areas of your life, and the more you'll be able to help the people around you because you'll understand them better. So it's so important to understand that. Absolutely. See yourself. Oh, I just did that one. You must do what others won't. Commit and stay the course. And we already talked about that. You must do what others won't. Commit and stay the course. That's it. If you can do that, and if you can wake up every day and do that and not let all the excuses and the reasons of why you don't need to today, or do you really need that? Or, it was good enough for my parents, so it's fine. I don't, who am I? Like, that's just a lot of work. We're our only problem and our only solution. Stay the course. If you want it, just commit and stay the course and you'll get it. It just takes effort. It's not that hard. Make a committed decision and act on it within 30 seconds. This is a good one. Bob talked about this a lot, that we were never, as kids in school, taught how to make decisions. And look, if you're a parent or how you were parented, were a lot of your decisions made for you? Or did you make them all yourself? Or were you maybe manipulated or guilted into doing things? So many of us, especially nowadays, don't know how to make decisions and aren't letting our kids make their own decisions and deal with the consequences. We're so wanting to shelter them, and I had that a little bit, I could never do wrong, or it's so interesting. So first and foremost, learn how to make a decision, because so many people don't. So what it is the best decision makers, what does he say? The most successful people make decisions fast and don't change them. And if they do, it's very rare. And unsuccessful people take forever to make a decision, forever and ever, and gather information and do this and pros and cons. And drag it out for months. And then they finally make a decision. And then they'll be just as quick to change it. So think about that. Successful people make decisions very quickly. And if you don't act on it within the 30 seconds, all the reasons why you shouldn't, you can't, you won't, you're not worthy, it just won't work, will all creep in. So that's why getting into action right away is so, so very important. Success is in our failures. I know we've talked about that a lot. Success is in our failures. And you only fail if you take it as feedback, because a true failure is if you stop or don't start. So as you're going through life and you're failing, calling you failing forward or getting the feedback, it's in those moments and in the uncomfortableness that you'll find the way that you'll be successful. So I love that. Success is in our failures. Arash says he looks to fail every day. If you're not failing every day or doing something that makes you uncomfortable every day, then you're not putting the effort in, and you probably won't get to where you want to go for sure. Your past has prepared you for greatness. Oh, I love this one because that's my story. At my lowest point, it felt like, it was so dark, and I didn't know how I was going to get through it or do this life. And looking back, that moment and all of that had to happen for me to be where I am today and for my purpose to find me. Some of the most difficult relationships I've had, my life would not be on the course it is today had those people not come into my life, because it was such a part of it. But at the time, I was such a victim to it. It was happening to me. Why are they doing this to me? Why this happening? Why all the victimization? But when you switch it and you ask, why is this happening for me? And it's prepared you. What is this preparing me for? Or finding the good? It shifts everything. And When I went through my coach certification training at IPEC, their whole mantra was, you're exactly where you should be. It's exactly as it should be. Whether it's beautiful or it's ugly, it's part of your path and your journey. So your past has prepared you for greatness. No problem outside you is greater than the power within you. This could go a lot of different directions. What speaks to me first is you have all the answers inside of you. It's just finding someone to ask the right questions, frame it in a way that makes you have that aha moment or the switching your perspective on something. So that's a great one. It's really, really true. And we don't give ourselves enough credit. Just know that all the answers, you know them. And another thing that Alex Hormozy, I saw him do this, and he talked about this. Have a conversation with your 85-year-old self. And I'm 47, so use it to your age, and ask that version of you questions. It's crazy how very quickly the answer will come when you speak to yourself from that point of view, because all of the answers are inside of you. So that's just an exercise I thought I would share. It's really cool. You've heard me say this many times. This is Bob, yes. Faith and fear both require you to believe in something you cannot see. You choose. So are you going to have faith? Or are you going to choose fear and let it hold you back and keep you exactly where you are? Love that one. And I know we talk about that a lot. So think about that. And faith, it can be whatever it means to you. But having faith or fear, you can't see either. You have to choose one. So think about which one you choose and why. That's a good one. Once you make the decision, you will find all the people, resources, and ideas you need every time. We already touched on that. Once you make the irrevocable committed decision, as Arash says, and you commit to it. I mean, really commit to it. Put it in your morning routine. Keep it top of mind. Set an alarm on your phone for every 3 hours. And every time that alarm goes off, you're putting yourself in that place. Commit, commit, commit. And then wake up the next day and commit, commit, commit. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And you can see where I'm going. And you know what? 90% of people peter off after the third or fourth day. They go back to their old behaviors. They go back to their old habits. Just takes effort. Just takes effort and discipline and habits. And once you do that, it's not hard. The way will be shown. So why don't you get into the category of the 5 to 10% of people that actually know this and understand this and do this? And you'll be rewarded. It's the law of the universe. Again, the laws of the universe are not man-made. They can't be altered by man. You can choose to play it in them, or you can choose to ignore them. Either way, they're still happening. So start playing in the beauty of it. I'm going to read this one again. Once you make the decision, you will find all the people, resources, and ideas you need every time. Make the decision. See yourself where you want to be and then be there. Go back to the alarms. Set an alarm on your phone for every 3 hours. Shut your eyes for a minute, or if you're in the middle of a meeting or wherever you're at, just feel your goal done. Connect to that perfect relationship, that job, that vacation, that home, whatever it is for you, the business, the amount of money you want in your bank account. Feel it and connect to it. See yourself there. Use your imagination. Feel it. Raise your vibration to that frequency that your goal's on over and over and over again, and it will happen. But you probably won't, unless you're part of the 5 to 10% of people that actually do this. You'll more than likely fall into the 90% of people that won't, or don't, or get too busy, or let life happen, or all the excuses, drop their disciplines, let the old habitual behaviors and paradigms creep in. And that's okay. If you catch it and you're aware of it, start from where you are. And if you find yourself going off track, pull yourself back on. Just keep the quicker you catch it and the quicker you make a different decision and reframe it, the easier it will get. It's like training any muscle. Repetition. You don't go to the gym once and you're exactly where you want to be. You have to go over and over and over again. You have to keep with it. Repetition. And then once you get to the point where you're exactly how you want to be, then you go into maintenance mode. You're still doing it. You're still aware of it. It's still a lifestyle choice. Think about that. I love it. Don't be in the past. Be there. Act like the person you want to become. Don't be in your past. I've talked about that. You can't change the past. You can't change what time you woke up this morning. You can't change so much. So why do you act like the person you want to become? And quit letting your mistakes, letting what you should have done, shoulding all over yourself, going back and just replaying, I should have said this, or I wish I would have done that, or man, I made a really bad decision there and it cost this and that. Because whenever you do that, you're lowering your vibration and you're feeling that ick and you're feeling that low energy. And guess what? What energy you put out, you get back. So that's where I say, leave the past. As Bob would say, let the dead bury the dead. Move forward, move on. Act like the person you want to become, not like the person of your past. Because your past got you here. Think your past. Think all the contrasts. Think the bad decisions and the good. And know that it's why you are where you are. And then move forward and become the person you want to become. People are interested in doing something will do it when it's convenient. People who are committed will do it no matter what. I'm going to read that again. People who are interested in doing something will do it when it's convenient. People who are committed will do it no matter what. 90% of people, 5 to 10% of people. Which category do you fall in? This is why I talk about with many of the entrepreneurs, real estate agents, small business owners. This is a lot of what I talk about. Amateur or full real entrepreneur going all in. Are you committed or are you interested? Meaning, when you get up in the morning, it's a beautiful day. If you're anywhere like I am, usually, you have these cold winters or it's always dreary and all of a sudden the sun comes out and it's a gorgeous day and that smell in the air and you're like, oh, I just want to be outside. I deserve it. My God, it's been so gloomy and cold. Like, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to skip doing what I know I should be doing for my business because shiny object, or this will feel better, or this is something I want to do. Are you committed in your goals or you're interested? Because an amateur will fly out that door so fast and go play for the day. But a true entrepreneur and someone that's committed will do it not wanting to. Will do it with a headache. Will do it being in a fight with their spouse. Will do it when they just had a deal blow up in their face. They will put a pin in that and show up. They will not crumble. They will not melt down. They will not go into, fear. even keeled, stay neutral, be committed. That's where the discipline comes in to affect making decisions and then creating the habits and the disciplines around it. So ask yourself in your business, in your relationships, in your health goals, in your wealth goals, in your happiness, are you interested or are you committed? Will you do whatever it takes? Will you show up for yourself and show up for that version of you in the future that you're working towards? What do they do? Well, if you get to your goal, you know what it took to get there. You be committed and you do it anyways. You suck it up. It's not easy, but it is. If you do it, are you going to be part of the 90%? Or are you going to be part of the 10%? You can ask yourself that. Do you want to know what you think about most of the time? Take a look at your results. They will tell you exactly what's going on the inside. And I touched base on that earlier. If you want to know what your self-image is, if you want to know what you're thinking about, if you want to know if you're in the 90% or the 10%, look at your results. That will be a big indicator of where you're at. And that is why having a coach or a mentor is so very important, because more than likely you aren't where you want to be. And if you have someone that can show you, take the blinders down, give you a different perspective, awareness shift, and really, really show you how you can get from where you are to where you want to be and let go of your current results and come from your goal. Instant shift. You want these instant aha quantum leaps over and over and over again. And yes, you have to do it yourself, and you shouldn't, nor should you do it alone. It'll just take too much time, and you'll doubt yourself and you won't know where to go. You'll show up and you'll just waste time because what do I do? And then you jump on social media, and then an hour, 2 hours later, you're like, oh, crap. I didn't do anything. Get out of the suck of it and really get into, are you committed or are you interested? It's a good question to go back to that one. And last but not least, thoughts become things. If you see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand. Oh, that just gets me so warm inside. That is Bob all over. Thoughts become things. I'll leave you with this. Look at your results. If you don't like your results, you back it up. You have your results based upon action you took or didn't take. You take action based upon how you're feeling. You feel the way you're feeling based upon your thoughts. So if you don't like your results, you need to shift your awareness, shift your perspective, and start thinking different things. And know that the words you think and the words you say out loud, your subconscious is always eavesdropping on you. It never sleeps. It's always listening. And it doesn't work in negatives. So if you're talking about debt, or if you're talking about being sad, or if you're talking about how things aren't working right, that's what you're going to get more of, because that's what you're talking about and that's what you're thinking about. So get aware, switch your perspective, switch your perception, and do the opposite. If you're thinking debt, stop saying and thinking debt, or you're going to get more. As I've said before, set a debt repayment program, figure it out, stick a pin in it over there, and start thinking of prosperity. Start thinking of your goals. Start getting into that vibration, on that frequency, and everything will change. And I can sit here and I can say this because I've done it year after year after year. And I had no idea how it was going to happen. But the how is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is starting with your thoughts and a lot of what we just talked about, what Arash talks about in his book. So again, Wrapping it up today, I will put the link down. If you're listening and you're not hearing this, I should have said this in the beginning. I apologize. Arash Vossoughi. The title is The World-Class Wealth Mindset: 4 Pillars to Building Personal Freedom. Just released on Amazon. Truly, truly, grab your copy. I'll get the link below. 1% better every day, friends. That's all it takes. So, till next time, make it a good one. Go learn something. What are you going to do to get 1% better today? Thanks for spending some time with me today. And if you like what you heard, feel free to share, like, subscribe, follow, do whatever it is you do. I'd love to get this out to as many people as possible, because it truly all does start with awareness. Once you know, you cannot unknow, and it changes everything. And of course, if I can help in any way, I'm here and happy to do so. Until next time, make it a good one.